Leprechauns, we're back here on championship playoff weekend on the heels of the Notre Dame versus Clemson Cotton Bowl matchup. Hope everybody had a great Christmas and looking forward to a great New Year. Nate, tomorrow's a big game, man. Notre Dame versus Clemson. All the hype, all the discussion, all the hate, all the excitement, all comes to a close tomorrow, 1:05 p.m. for Pacific time at the Cotton Bowl at Jerry Land. So, Nate, start off. How you feeling about the game?
I'm feeling really excited, especially that Dexter Lawrence isn't able to play. That's a huge plus in our arsenal for Dex to run. But I think the guys aren't going to have that in mind. Like, that's going to be a big factor in that. They're just still going to have the mindset that they did, thinking that he was going to play.
Yeah, I was not going to lie. I was pretty happy that guy wasn't going to play, but then I can't remember the backup's name, but apparently the backup is he's a fifth-year senior, so he definitely can play. I guess it was just that Dexter Lawrence is such a otherworldly player that he was behind him, but it's not like it's going to be just some random guy that they're putting in there. Clemson still is going to have a great D-line out there against our O-line. Let's see, we got a few guys joining us here. Bill Hackett, Jason Bogonia, Justin Knox, Nick Yoder's on, Carlitos Cruz Rivera's on with us. Who else? Say hey if you're watching. What's up, Nick? Happy holidays, buddy. Good. Hope you're doing well out in South Bend. As you can see, we have on our perfect season matching shirts. I'm personally very optimistic about the game. I know there's a lot of hate out there. There's a lot of people that are doubting the Irish, and that's kind of where we want to be. I mean, when you look back to the Michigan game, there was ESPN, all the talking heads were picking Michigan to beat us, and what happened? We came out and put a hurting on them. So yeah, 10 point. I think the spreads moved to about 10 to 11.5 points, somewhere in that range in Vegas. So that's fine. Let them hate. At the end of the day, they got to go out there and play the football game, and I think that Kelly has them ready to go.
I think the underdog factor in this game is going to play a huge part because Coach Kelly's saying, well, look, everyone's hating on you. And they got that fire that they're going to bring to the game.
Absolutely.
With that underdog mindset.
It's funny. There's been so many different websites out there that have broken down every single X and O and every single intangible and every single thing related to this game. But again, it all matters what happens in between the white lines tomorrow. Is Ian Book going to be able to handle that environment? I think he's going to be fine. In the interviews, I know we've watched a lot of the interviews, he just seems very cool, calm, and collected. I don't think the moment's too big for him. I think back to the 2012 game, you kind of saw Everett Golson. And not that he looked scared, but he just didn't have that same calm composure, confidence that Ian seems to have in some of these interviews that I've seen. We got Brian Little, your favorite blockhead. Big shout out to my boy Brian Little. He helps us get these shows over to iTunes. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. We have two guests on today. They'll talk a little bit about the game and kind of just their career at Notre Dame in general. We have Scott Daly, who was a longtime long snapper for the Irish, also is now going to be playing in the AAF New Football League. And then we'll have Amir Carlisle on, who is a wide receiver running back for the Irish. He'll be on a little bit later as well. They're both going to be playing in the AAF. I want to talk a little bit about that because we're really excited about that. We finally have a team back in San Diego, the Fleet, so we'll be excited to watch them play. Got James Boylan, hi from Dublin, and go Irish, beat Clemson, absolutely. Ken Murphy, we will be fine. Ed Smith says Irish by 15. Ed, if that's right, I'm sending you a t-shirt, baby. If we win by 15, I'm sending Ed Smith a t-shirt. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. I know a lot of you guys on our Dos Leprechauns page kind of showed pictures of what you got and everything like that. I want to give a huge thank you to Robert Miller, who lives out in South Bend, for hooking us up with one of the Sports Illustrated magazines with Ian on it with a personalized message. Said 2 Dos Leprechauns. That was freaking awesome. So thank you, Robert Miller, for that. And thank you to Amy for sending us a copy of that, Rhonda Jean, our boy Philip Labar. Thank you guys all very much. Before we get too much into this, I do want to give a big shout out. I'm not sure if he's watching, but we were contacted on our Dos Leprechauns page the other night by a gentleman named Nathan Hendricks. No relation. Their last name spelled a little bit differently. His father had become very ill, and Nathan was looking for just something to get a smile on his dad's face. He hadn't seen his dad smile in quite some time, and so we went to work and got a hold of our boy Bill Hackett. And as always, Bill made magic happen. Bill is one of the most selfless guys you'll ever meet. Bill got Coach Holtz on the phone, said, hey, can you shoot this guy a text and just saying we're praying for him? Sure enough, a few minutes later, Coach Holtz texted him and said, hey, we're praying for you, and the whole thing. And then Coach Holtz actually ended up calling him and just really put a big smile on this guy's face. Unfortunately, Mr. Hendricks, Nathan's dad, passed away this morning. So we want to let you know, Nathan and family, the Hendricks family, we're praying for you guys. We're in your corner. Your dad's got the best seat in the house tomorrow, and you'll be in our thoughts and prayers. So I wanted to get that out there too. So with all the sad stuff out of the way now, we'll go ahead and bring. It looks like we're about time to bring Scott Daly on. Maybe a little bit early, but we'll give him a shot here and see what happens with that. And again, if you guys are watching the show, make sure you comment, ask questions you might have for Scott and/or Amir, and we'll try to get those answered for you on air.
Hello, this is Scott.
Hey Scott, how you doing? This is Jason and Nate, the Dose Leprechauns. How are you?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
We're doing great, man. How's everything for you?
Doing great, yeah.
Good
Excited
deal, man.
To be on, and yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on. So, hey, are you going to be at the game tomorrow by any chance?
Unfortunately, no. I'm actually out in San Diego right now. I'm spending time with my girlfriend and her family during the holidays. But no, I know a bunch of other teammates are going to be out there, guys from the area, guys that I played with. But no, I'll be watching them from out here in Cali. But yeah, just really excited for the game.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what you're up to now. I know, I think I saw anyways, you signed with an AAF team. Can you talk a little bit about that league and what that experience has been like and kind of how the future is going to unfold for that whole situation?
Yeah, absolutely. So right after, so I signed with the Dallas Cowboys this April, and I was able to spend time with them this offseason, and it was just a tremendous experience. I was able to compete, get great experience, great exposure to the NFL game, what it's all about, the ins and outs. And it was just an awesome experience. So I was let go right after final cuts, and I started hearing rumblings actually in the summer before training camp about this new league called the Alliance of American Football, and really, didn't know what was going to happen. I've heard a lot of leagues and startup leagues like this that have, tried to start up and really just fell through due to whatever reason, whether it's funding or fan support or talent, whatever it may be. And, a lot of them just really haven't been able to break through, but heard a lot of positive things about this. Heard that Bill Polian was really the head leading this whole charge, and yeah, just heard a lot of great things about it. And then luckily, through my experience at Dallas, our GM for San Antonio is Daryl Johnston, who was a famous Dallas Cowboy. He played with the Cowboys in the heyday in the 90s, and they won their 3 Super Bowl championships. And so he actually reached out to Dallas and asked them about long snappers and who they would recommend, and luckily, they put my name out there, and he reached out to me, offered me a contract, and yeah, just really excited to get started. It's just very, very exciting league, I think, just for a lot of guys, because with the NFL, there's a very thin line in terms of reserves out there. There's really no farm system or other league right now, or for a long time as it is, where guys can really have film where they can showcase themselves, be in a league where they can continue to play, and really just have an opportunity just to jump right into the NFL. There's always a lot of question marks whether guys are staying in shape, whether they've been playing, working out, whatever it may be, if they're healthy. But I think this league is going to be a tremendous opportunity for guys that really are, just starting their career and really just need to have another opportunity, have another chance to really prove themselves and showcase themselves on the football field. And guys that are on the latter end of their career as well, guys who are, towards the end of their career and really just trying to revamp and have another second chance to where they can prove themselves. But just really excited about it. I know there's a couple other ND guys like myself. I know Niles Morgan, Amir Carlisle, Max Redfield, and John Montelis are on a couple other teams in the league, and just really excited, back to playing football, and yeah, see what I can do and just prove myself that I can play in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a great point. I really like this AAF situation. I know they're going to do some cool things like in-game betting and things like that, and it's all going to be, from what I understand, it's all going to be televised on CBS. So I'm really glad guys like you, Max, Amir, and John Montelis will be able to get a second crack at this and see what can happen. Maybe translate into a future in the NFL, or hopefully this league will take off and you guys will be able to make some money there too. So
yeah, no doubt.
Wanted to go back and talk about your career at Notre Dame. You were one of the more, you had a very long, successful career with the Irish, culminating with some big games. I want to talk a little bit about Coach Kelly. There's been a lot of talk about, in the previous years that Coach Kelly couldn't win the big game. He couldn't, he wasn't the right guy for the job and things like that. What do you say to some of those people out there that think that maybe Coach Kelly doesn't have it in him to win the big game?
I mean, I definitely would have to disagree with those critics. I mean, I can see why people would want to say that. There were times in my time at Notre Dame that we had opportunities to win the big games, whether it's 2015 or 2014, or you can just go back and, I'm sure you can point fingers at whatever you want. But I think if you look at the blueprint in 2012 that he was able business, take care of it all, and have an opportunity to play for national championships. So it's definitely possible, and it's just very difficult to play at Notre Dame. I think the fact that we've been able to stay independent for so long is we've had the flexibility to schedule very difficult teams and teams that are not typical ACC teams that a lot of teams in a so-and-so conference would have to play or be forced to play. So I think it's just very difficult to play Notre Dame. I think people just don't really fully realize how hard it is to play for Notre Dame, and the fact that everyone's giving you their A game. They're playing you 100% each and every week. It's not an off week. If you beat Notre Dame, that makes your entire season. Yeah. So teams are going to be throwing everything that they can at you, things that you've never seen on film the previous weeks, trick plays, things that just are going to throw you for a loop. And I think Coach Kelly's done a great job of that. He's dealt with the good and the bad and the indifferent, and I think he's just got the guys ready this year. They've put it together. They stayed healthy, and I think it's going to be a great game.
What was your favorite game that you played in at Notre Dame?
I've been asked this question a lot, especially recently. It's got to be a tie between the Michigan game at home in 2014. We're able to just put everything together, just have a great game, shut them out, and just to hear the student section, singing "Na na na, hey hey bye." It was just such a great, cool moment where you can just kind of really sit back and not have to worry about the score, during the last final minutes, and just really soak in the atmosphere and just, it's just one of those moments that, you dream of when you're coming to Notre Dame. You hear about, playing in the big games and, playing in those great atmospheres, and to be able to, have that kind of game and have that kind of experience was just incredible. So I have to say the 2014 Michigan game. And also, close second probably the LSU game in 2014 as well. Just the fact that we had lost so many games in a row, we had so much high potential, and for Kyle Brenza just to go out, on a high note and hit that game winner against LSU, was just an incredible moment to cap off just a crazy year, full of highs and lows. So probably those two games.
Absolutely. So I know a lot of long snappers, a lot of special teams guys don't necessarily get the love that they deserve related to, getting in there and making tackles and things like that. But I think you were, to me anyway, stood out as somebody who was always willing to get in there, make a tackle, not give up on a play, that kind of thing. Did you play, did you play linebacker or something like that as well in high school? What made you so ferocious out there just trying to get after the football?
So I played tight end in high school. In my early years in high school, I was actually a baseball player that happened to fall into football. So I was able to, help that translate into the football field. They couldn't really find a spot for me in my early years, like my freshman and sophomore years in high school. I was a quarterback my first year. I was a tight end. I was a fullback. I was a linebacker. I was all over the place. They just didn't know where to put me. And then finally, I was able to grow in my body a little bit come my junior and senior year, where I was able to fill in the tight end and kind of solidify that spot. And just, try and be well balanced. I think that, the guys at ND look for guys that, are just all around great players, great people. But I think that definitely helped me in terms of just being an overall athlete. In terms of playing Notre Dame, yes, in terms of specialists, like you have to be, yes, a great kicker, punter, snapper, but you have to be a great athlete as well to be really, really good at what you do. So I took that with the utmost seriousness, and all of us did when we were at Notre Dame. We hit the weight room extremely hard. We took our conditioning extremely seriously, our mental preparation and everything, just to be the best overall, all-around players that we can be.
So have you kept up with this year's team and some of the highs and, well, it really wasn't any lows, but some of the high points and I mean, if you have kept up with this team, what are your true and honest thoughts about tomorrow's matchup against Clemson?
I have kept up with this team, actually. It's just been a lot of fun to watch these guys, put it all on the field together. I mean, every year Notre Dame has great talent, and that's never in question. I mean, Notre Dame recruits very well. They bring in great guys from the get-go, freshmen that can play, and this year especially, we knew that they had, great talent, but the fact that they were all just able to stay healthy, they were able to execute, win the big games, and just able to do what they do. It's just been a lot of fun to watch. It definitely, brings memories back to the 2012 year where we had a lot of talent. No one really gave us a chance at the beginning of the year, and then they were able to just, be the underdogs and take care of business. But these guys just have done a great job. I feel very confident going into the Clemson game tomorrow. I think that this team, honestly, is probably one of the most balanced teams I've ever seen in terms of offense, defense, and special teams. They just have depth at every position. Coach Kelly does get a lot of credit, but his position coaches are just incredible that he puts together year in, year out. guys that leave for other head coaching jobs or other coordinator positions. He's able to bring in guys year in, year out that understand what Notre Dame's all about, understand the culture, and they can just step in right away and be able to help this team be extremely successful. So I think it's going to be obviously very close. Clemson's obviously very, very balanced as well, very well coached with Coach Sweeney, but I think they're going to have an upper edge. They played a lot of tough games, a lot of close games, and I think they're going to come out on top.
So we got a couple questions here from the audience. Ken Murphy, who I don't know if you remember Ken, but there's a moth flying on me. He's a fantasy camp guy, and he'd like to know, what is the hardest thing about being a long snapper?
Hardest thing I would say about being a long snapper is mentally. I mean, there are a lot of great guys who can go out there, snap the ball, that can do it over and over again. It's a lot of muscle memory, but the biggest thing is just your mental game, what's between your ears, just your overall confidence, knowing that you can go out there, in practice, when no one's watching it, but at the same time, you can go out there in front of 8,000 plus fans and be able to execute, under the highest of pressure. And I take that with the utmost seriousness, and I enjoy it so much. I love all eyes being on me. I love having the ball in my hands, being able to help control the outcome of the special teams play, whether it's getting points or getting a punt, getting a team deep. And I just love being out there, having the ball in my hands, and being able to do what I do. And it's a great position. It's obviously a lot of high pressure, but I just love that about being a long snapper.
Very cool. Very cool. So you said you're out in San Diego right now. Where are you going to be going back to train for the upcoming AAF season here soon?
Yeah, so we actually have training camp coming up January 4th. We had mini camp about 2 weeks ago down in San Antonio, and it was just very exciting. It was definitely a cool experience, a little bit different. I was trying to keep my eyes open, just be very open-minded about what this league's going to be all about. I knew it was probably going to be different than the NFL, but it was very well run, very similar to an NFL program, from top to bottom, from the head coach to GMs, our position coaches, everyone. And so I head down January 4th. We got training camp from January 4th to January 30th, and then we have final cuts after that, and our season starts up February 9th in San Antonio on CBS against San Diego.
Nice. Yeah, actually, I think we're going to be at that game.
No, at San Diego.
Oh, at San Diego. Yeah, okay, cool. Well, yeah, we're gonna definitely get out and support the AAF as much as we possibly can out in the San Diego area. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. So anything else you'd like the audience here to know about kind of what you're up to? How can people stay in contact with you and follow your time at AAF and beyond?
Yeah, I mean, so my social media handles are at @Daily61, both on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I mean, I'm just giving this whole football thing a shot. It's very blessed and fortunate and grateful to be able to have my 5 years in Notre Dame. I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything, and it's been a lot of fun watching these guys, having just great success and being able to put it all together on the field. But yeah, just really excited about this whole AAF experience. Hopefully I'll be able to get back in the NFL, have an opportunity. With long snappers, it's one thing to have talent, but it's another thing to have timing, kind of fall into the right team at the right time, and that's the battle that I'm fighting right now. But you just got to trust the process and trust yourself and your preparation and all the work you put in, and see how it all pans out.
So we got one more question that came in here from Susie Anderson, another SoCal lady. She said, "What's the most valuable thing you learned at Notre Dame?"
The most valuable thing I learned about Notre Dame, well, first off, the people that I was able to be around at Notre Dame just made the place so special. People ask me all the time, what makes Notre Dame truly special? And I think it's the people that they bring, whether it's the professors, the coaches, your fellow students, just everyone is all in at Notre Dame. And the one thing I learned most is just how to be a man. It's one thing to be at college and to be by yourself, but to be at Notre Dame where you're competing at the highest level in terms of academics and you're competing at the highest level in terms of football, you really have to really be a man and just handle your time extremely wisely. And I learned so much more life lessons just on top of that, and just to be able to compete at the highest level, both in the classroom and on the field, was just a tremendous experience. I think an experience that not many people get to have in their life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
That's awesome. All right, Scott. Well, hey, I know you're a busy guy and you're spending some time with family, so we're going to go ahead and go. We really, truly appreciate the time, and we're really looking forward to following your career with the AAF.
Jason, Nathan, I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, have a great holiday.
Awesome. Same to you guys. Go
Take
Irish.
care. Go Irish. Bye-bye. All right, once again, Scott Daly showing why when we get these Notre Dame alumni on, it's such an honor because these guys are just good, grounded people, good guys contributing, and just a good head on their shoulders. So once again, thank you to Scott Daly. We're going to open up the phone lines here for a minute. 951-206-9403 if you want to give us a call. You can give us a call. We're going to get Amir Carlisle on here in about 10 minutes. But in the meantime, if you want to give us a call, we'd be happy to have you on. Margaret Rayburn Campbell said, love Scott. Yep, we do too. We also love Tyler. So we'll be looking for him to come on the show as soon as the season's over, which hopefully is on January 8th, one day after the championship game in January 7th in Santa Clara. So, hey, who's going to the championship game on January 7th? Anybody have hotels booked? Anybody making those plans yet? And then how many of you guys are watching this podcast or listening to this podcast from the Cotton Bowl in Arlington? Give us a call if you want to jump on real quick. We have a few minutes of open phone lines until we have Amir Carlisle on. Once again, the number is, I'm going to type it here in the comments, but it's 951-206-9403. If you want to give us a call and talk a little bit about the upcoming Clemson-Notre Dame matchup tomorrow. You heard Scott talk about Coach Kelly's preparation for these games, and I think Coach Kelly's proved a lot of the haters wrong when it comes to getting prepared. I mean, last year there's been some debate on, do you call that a big game? Do you not call that a big game against LSU? I think it was a big game. It was a top SEC school. They were at a top 5 school for a long time this year. So, he had them up and ready for that game. We have a call coming in right now from Grand Rapids. See who this is. Hello, this is Dose Leprechauns.
Hey, it's Cool Mike from Grand Rapids, Michigan. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing good, man. How are you?
Great. I love that interview. Just really, really good. Just always great listening from a perspective, as outside people.
Sure.
Sometimes we really don't. We really assume an awful lot of things about players, and normally they're false.
Absolutely.
So it was such a great perspective. Also, just an FYI, a group of us just said a prayer for the Hendricks family.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
That's so like Billy Hackett. That's so like Lou Holtz.
Yep.
Just selfless people who never ever think of themselves.
No.
And it's just amazing that they would do something like that. And may he rest in peace. And our prayers are with his family during this grieving time.
Amen to that, man. I appreciate you doing that, and I'm sure they do as well.
Getting on the topic of football, I think the Irish win tomorrow in overtime. I think it's going to be just another typical game where gut-wrenching and gut-wrenching. Let's face it, Clemson's really good.
Yeah, they are. So are we.
In order for us to go to that level, the next level, which we want to take it, in the same manner 2 years ago, as time expired, Clemson hit a touchdown to end the game and beat Alabama and took the crown away.
Yeah.
I think we're going to do something similar, and that catapults us to the next level. And we'll go from there. One of the things I think is going to be significant. We're all Irish fans. We all want Indy to win. The significance is this: if the O-line can come of age and give Ian Book some time, and Ian Book himself has to hit receivers. We've seen in the past he's had a little tendency sometimes to overthrow. But if he can hit those receivers who are great receivers. I mean, our wide receivers are so underrated. If he hits them, Clemson's going to have a very hard time basically getting our offense off the field.
Big, physical, and fast. I think, I'm no offensive coordinator or anything like that, but I think that it's going to be crucial to mix in some trickeration. I think you're going to see some bubble screens, some screens, some misdirection. I've seen a lot of talk that Braden Lindsey, the freshman wide receiver that can just fly, that he's had some really good practice weeks here leading up to the game. So don't be surprised if you see some trickeration out of those guys.
Well, I am more than sure we are going to see a few things from the Fighting Irish that we haven't seen before. And to be realistic, we haven't been capable of doing a lot of those things.
That's right.
In the past because of team speed, but we have here. I believe this to be very, very true, that I think Clemson is a team. Clemson's a really good team. Alabama's a good team. But in the end, these blowout games, 50-3, and what they come back to haunt you when you play really good teams or teams that are coming of age.
Sure.
When it comes down to it, and it's in that gut-wrenching time, and Clemson is a championship team, we all know that, but we have been in this position and pulled it out every game this year, whether it be Michigan, whether it be Virginia Tech, whether it was Northwestern, and even the season game against the final game against USC. You know what? In the end, I think it's time. Tomorrow's really going to. Tomorrow's going to be one of those things where when we're watching the second game, all of us are so excited and just going to have a special smile on our face. That we got where we are, because oftentimes we criticize Coach Kelly, but he set the process. We're doing it right. We planted the tree. We're watering it. We had some challenges. We certainly had some seasons that didn't live to expectations, but in the end, the tree is growing and it's getting stronger by the moment. And I'll tell you, I'd like you to tell me one team that's got as much offensive speed and defensive speed than us.
Yeah,
Alabama certainly does, but we're right up there with them all. So
yeah,
Irish.
Absolutely.
29-28, we are going for 2.
I love it. 29-28. Mike's calling his shot. We'll see if you're right, man. We'll talk to you later. Go have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
All right, go Irish. All right, we're going to call somebody back from Texas that called a couple times, see who that is. Hopefully they answer. Hopefully they're at the game. That'd be pretty cool. Or at the festivities. Wait and see who's calling from Texas. I think it was... Hello.
Hello?
Hi, who's this?
Just a second.
Just a second.
Sorry for the delay, guys.
This is creepy.
Entering intro music now.
Is this my boy Brian Little?
You might be able to tell from the image that I just sent you that your favorite blockhead has just put on his MMA gloves. He's walked out of gorilla position, and he is bathing himself in a disgusting saliva water, just like Triple H, and he's walking to the rim. This is not the Jim Rome smack-off. This is not 8192. This is the Jason and Nate show, but I have an invasion from left field that you never saw coming.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, this is our favorite blockhead, your favorite blockhead, Brian Little online. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, man. Just kind of wanted to come in and drop a line on your show, but as you can tell, I'm a different breed, but you're still trying to chop away this tree and turn me into a lifer for Notre Dame. But what can I say? I'm looking forward to a different story, except other than Alabama or Clemson. I'm looking forward to you guys because, the narrative is just better with Notre Dame.
Amen. And I think you're going to get it. Has you live in Texas. Has Texas been completely invaded by Irish fans, Irish faithful?
It's kind of been hit or miss with a lot of people because I've talked about this on my podcast with you guys. Well, mentioning you guys, I mentioned this how there are a lot of highbrow types, I guess you could say, that are saying that Notre Dame has just not played any real teams and they just have an undefeated streak, but they're about to have their more than they can take when they go up against Clemson. And I'm just going, well, I'm sitting back with the wait and see kind of mentality, but I just go, it's been an uphill battle for y'all, and I know you want to get off your chest, so why don't you vent about that a little bit?
Yeah, it's funny to me that people say we haven't played anybody. We have 3 wins against top 25 opponents, unlike our opponent tomorrow, who doesn't have that many. And you look at our schedule, we beat Syracuse by 35, a team that took them, Clemson, down to the wire. We beat a ranked Northwestern team. We beat a very good Michigan team in the first game of the season with a quarterback that ended up being our backup quarterback without our starting running back. So, people can sit there and say that, but I think that there really is a Notre Dame bias. I think that a lot of people say this, and Drew Tranquill says it best, and he says that you either love Notre Dame or you hate Notre Dame. That's really, Brian, you might be the only remaining person that's kind of in the middle, and we're going to get you on our side here eventually. But, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, Notre Dame needs to join a conference because they don't play anybody, but then, when they're not, when they're beating all these teams that other teams can't beat, you can't then say they play a weak schedule. Just you gotta pick a side, and I think people are going to find out tomorrow that Notre Dame was very much battle tested this year, and they went on the road several times. They finished the season playing in New York and then flying back to California to play a game SC school team that, although they didn't have a lot of team camaraderie, they have a crap ton of talent. So they had more miles traveled in their games than anybody in the country. Now they're healthy. They got a couple guys back. They're totally healthy. They've had 3-4 weeks to rest. And from all I can see, they're locked and loaded and ready to kick some Tiger ass tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking of healthy, I don't know if you noticed, but there's been a couple of controversies that have made me raise an eyebrow on the other side, too, because Notre Dame is starting to look a lot like the Alexander Gustafson of NCAA football right now, because if I haven't noticed, Clemson and Bama have been taking some hits for some substances that are questionable. I think that's going on. But
yeah, that's one way to call it. I got a guy online watching right now, Douglas Johnson, who is, along with his brother Nick, are two of the biggest haters on the history of the planet related to Notre Dame. So I'd love for them to chime in here and have watch the snowball kind of go downhill for them, because every time they try to argue Notre Dame's schedule, I end up having to put the smackdown on them, rock style. But hey, I like the Alexander Gustafsson reference. We'll drop a quick MMA second, then we got to get on to our next call. But I got Gus winning that fight tomorrow, man.
Yeah, I just want to say the last thing before I let you go is that I appreciate the culture and education, just like your intro music song goes. Shout out to the guy who did the dose rap. Is that also I stumbled across a guy today who gives a better diagnosis of Dealey Plaza way more than anything that the Warren Commission come up with. His name is Walt Brown, and he has a Notre Dame graduate. He has a doctorate in history. Anybody hasn't looked up Walt Brown, go out and check him out. So one last thing, you might want to let Nate know that you're going to put a password on your phone, because he'd be acting up and putting your stuff on Instagram when you're not looking. So other than that, go Dust Leprechauns, go Nate, and as a dyslexic once said, go Nate or Dome.
All right, man. Have a good day, Brian. Later, brother.
Later.
All right, Douglas Johnson, guys, just chimed in with Go Clemson. He's confused, but that's okay. Stick with your guns there, buddy, because you already know me, and when we win tomorrow, you're never going to ever hear the end of it, just like you said we were going to lose every other game this year. So that's cool. Let's see. We are going to go ahead and get Amir Carlisle on right now, and then we'll have a couple minutes at the end for an open phone line. Nate, you got anything to add to Doug or Nick right now?
I mean, they like USC and UCLA.
They only like those teams when they're winning. Nick, when UCLA's any good, oh man, UCLA's great. He told me in the offseason, this guy Nick Johnson told me UCLA was going to win the Pac-12. I think, what did they win? 3-4 games this year? Oh, Chip Kelly. That guy sucks. We have the best Coach Kelly on the planet. Not friggin' Chip Kelly. He only knows how to coach offense. He forgets to recruit defense. And then Doug, I think once he was an SC fan, and again, he only rears his ugly head when SC's winning, which clearly wasn't this year. Or the last year for the Irish when we put a hurting on them.
Hello?
Hey, good afternoon, Amir. This is Jason and Nate, the Dose Leprechauns.
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing great. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Is this still a good time for you?
Yeah, this is fine.
Awesome. So we have Amir Carlisle on, former running back, wide receiver for the Irish. Amir, tell us a little bit about what you're up to now. We talked to Scott Daly just a minute ago. He's a member of the AAF family like you are. Can you talk a little bit about your AAF, what's going on with that?
Yeah, so playing for the Birmingham Iron, the opportunity presented itself to continue my football career and kind of get a path back to the NFL, and it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up on. So we have camp coming in San Antonio January 4th, playing slot receiver out there. We have a talented team. Can't wait to get back on the field and have some fun and win some games.
A couple of familiar faces on that team with Max Redfield too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Saw Max. We had mini camp a couple weeks ago. Max is looking great. Hopefully all goes well. We both make the team. We could be big contributors for the team.
That's great, man. So have you been following this year's 2018 Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team?
Yes, sir, I have. I've been following them each and every game.
So let's be honest, man. We talked to Scott a little bit about this. What's your take on the game tomorrow? How's that going to shape up?
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. Clemson is a great team. Last time we played them in 2015, it was a great game down to the wire, and I expect nothing less out of this game. You have talented athletes on both sides of the ball, but I'm confident in our guys. We've looked great this year. Great offense, great defense. They have a great balanced attack, and it's just going to come down to execution. And I know Coach Kelly is going to prepare the guys well to execute tomorrow.
Absolutely. So, Amir, talk a little bit about your Notre Dame career. I know you were originally a USC recruit. We'll forgive that for now. But what made you end up transferring to Notre Dame, and how did all that play out? What was it like playing for Coach Kelly?
So coming out of high school, Notre Dame was my top school. But just due to distance, my family was still in California. I made the decision to stay closer to home and go to USC. But my dad ended up getting the job at Purdue as a director of sports performance, and so when they made the move out to Indiana, it was kind of a no-brainer, and God made a way where I was able to make the transfer over and get the release, and it was kind of a
it was a godsend, and it was a great experience. Coach Kelly, he's a hard-nosed guy. He's a tough coach, but he gets the best out of you. And my time at Notre Dame was some of the greatest times of my life, socially and just football-wise. We had a great team and great camaraderie, and I think it really showed when we went out and played.
Definitely, and I feel like that you get a lot of that from this team too. You see them feeling really loose out there. Seems like they're having a good time, but at the same time, when you hear them interview, they seem really locked in and ready to go. Are you still? Do you keep in contact with a lot of the guys on this team? And if so, are they totally ready to go for tomorrow? Are they feeling pretty confident?
Yeah. So the two guys who I've kept in contact with pretty frequently are Nick Coleman and Chris Fink.
Oh yeah, Finkster.
And the conversations we've had leading up to this game, they're ready to go. They've had a whole entire season of preparation. Have got great experience out in the field, and it's time to take all the practice preparation of this last month and take it to the field and just play loose and execute. And it's been great to be able to see those guys, because those two were freshmen when I was my last year, and I kind of took them under my wing, and so I've worked out with both of them each time I've been able to go back in the off season, and so it's really been great to see them grow into the players they are now and be real contributors for the team.
Very cool. Now, talking about your time at Notre Dame, do you have a favorite game, a favorite memory that occurred on the field over there?
Yeah, probably my favorite game was Michigan in 2014 when we beat them 31-0. It was at the time that was the last time we were playing them in the series, and to go out with a shutout win at home at night was a pretty amazing feeling.
And you had a good game that game, didn't you?
Yeah, solid game. I was able to help contribute to the win, so just made it even better.
What did you end up graduating with from Notre Dame?
Graduated with an information technology management degree, so Bachelor of Business Administration.
And are you using that also, or are you just solely focusing on the pro career at this point?
No, I actually haven't been using IT specifically, but kind of dabbled in some entrepreneurship. Me and my dad opened up a training facility, and I've been the head of getting our corporate fitness boot camps underway. So just been having fun, just kind of helping my dad and I running the business.
Very cool.
What was the toughest stadium to play at?
Toughest stadium, 2013 Michigan. I think it was 115,000 people. That was tough because you couldn't hear anything. And then in 2015 when we played Clemson, that was probably the most live stadium in terms of the crowd just had an immense amount of energy. They had a DJ playing on third down, so it was pretty crazy. Those two stadiums were probably the two toughest to play in.
During that Clemson game in 2015, now it was pretty much a monsoon. I mean, what was it like playing in that kind of atmosphere, that kind of weather?
So the weather, it was really stressful, to be completely honest. So we went in the game with the regular gloves. They didn't work at all. So they tried to give us some gloves that supposedly worked in the rain. They were more like baseball gloves, so like leather instead of sticky. That really didn't work because it was raining so hard that your glove was just drenched and the ball was drenched. So basically you had to revert to just trying to make body catches on the ball and just hopefully the ball was in the frame of your body to make the catch. So, yeah.
Wow, yeah. I mean, you couldn't even really see the TV at certain points of the game. It was raining so hard. I'll never forget that game, man. So do you still keep in contact with a lot of the guys that you played with at Notre Dame? And if so, do you guys try to make it back to campus every once in a while?
Yeah, so I keep in contact with 4 or 5 guys. Sheldon Dates, I'm in the Bay Area. He's in the Bay Area now. Will Fuller, we're still close. CJ Procise, Brown. So unfortunately, it's bus driving by.
Oh, good.
It's tough in the during the season, obviously, to kind of link everybody's schedules together. But I've been able to get together with a couple guys in the off season. We all haven't, unfortunately, been able to get back to the campus at one time. But I think it would be great to go see the new stadium and all the improvements they made.
Absolutely. So, last question I want to ask you about football-related stuff is, Coach Kelly took a lot of heat the last couple years for not being able to win the big game. We asked Scott this question too. I mean, do you feel like that's a misconception, or is there something there that for some reason his teams just don't have the opportunity to get in that mindset to win those big games?
I think it's just the big games that we didn't win, especially when I was there. It was just kind of some ball didn't go our way. Kind of got down against Clemson, Stanford. We had the game-winning touchdown. We thought they drove down, kicked the field goal. So I think Coach Kelly does everything to prepare his teams for big games. His mantra is, avoiding the outside noise and staying focused on the mission at hand and really focusing on preparation. So, I think he gets his teams. He got us, and I think he's getting the current team now as ready as they possibly can be for this big stage. And I think this is the time we get over the hump in this playoffs and get a chance to get a national championship.
All right, Amir. If you can let people know how they can stay in contact with you and your career at AAF and everything else. Let people know how they can get in touch with you.
Instagram or Twitter. My handle is SolarBot3, SOLARBOT 3. So yeah, for posts, I usually post on my story. Stay updated on how the season goes. We'll kick it off February 10th against the Memphis Express of the AAF.
Beautiful. All right, man. Well, hey, good luck in the AAF. We're going to be watching you and cheering you and Max and Niles Morgan and Scott Daly, all these guys on, and we hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you very much. Take care.
Have a good one. Go Irish.
You too. Go Irish.
Take care. All right, so that was Amir Carlisle jumping on the line. As I mentioned, we are going to have an open phone line here for a few minutes, 951-206-9403. Give us a call. Let's talk a little bit about tomorrow's big matchup. How are you guys going to celebrate? How are you guys going to get together? Are you going to be at a watch party? You guys going to be at the game? Maybe you're watching from Texas. Are you going to just watch at home alone like I'm going to, because I don't think I should be in public for this. We're going to batten down the hatchets. Nate will be with me, obviously, but he doesn't count. Just kidding.
Good luck.
Yeah, actually, Nate is good luck. And actually, we're trying to get his friend Joey here because last year his friend Joey came over for the Notre Dame LSU game. When he came over, we were losing. When Joey came in and walked in the door, we started winning, and Boykin made that catch. So, Joey, if you're watching, we need you here tomorrow, dude, because we need that good luck.
In the comments, hashtag Joey come to the house.
Yeah, hashtag Joey come to the house, watch the game. That's too long of a hashtag. But anyway, if nobody wants to call in, that's fine. We're going to be dropping it here in a second. Again, 951-206-9403. I saw Dustin Johnson say that he's going to the game. That's freaking awesome. Bill Hackett said, great coaches win big games. As a Holtz would say, I don't know how we are going to win, but we are going to win. And I think that's going to have to be the mentality tomorrow for these guys is find a way. We talked a little bit about Braden Lindsay, the freshman speedster. He wears number 25, just like my idol, Rocket Ishmael. So hoping he gets a chance to get the ball. Maybe a jet sweep. Good luck. That's a first. Doug, what are you talking about? Oh, God. Anyway, let's see who else joined us. Connor Hoban is here. Michael Grudd, what's up, Mike? Christy Lowe and Mike and Matt, they're watching. That's Madmore Creations, the sign. Oh, speaking of that, I need to go and let everyone know who won the contest. I apologize. We had a contest to get people to come to the Dos Leprechauns page. Again, if you're not a fan of the page, please join us. Share, let us know. We have a lot of cool stuff going on there. Want to give a huge shout out, as always, to my team. Obviously, Nate, our co-host and helper on the page. We have Jason Pruitt, our editor-in-chief. Matt Dunbar, Ben Walters. Somebody's calling in, Nate, take that. Ben Walters, Wayne Smith, Jason Lynch. Got a whole crew of
Leprechauns.
people.
What up?
Who this? Hello, who is this? Okay, well, guess they didn't want to talk to the Dos Leprechauns. But yeah, so I want to thank all those guys for all their hard work that they put into this whole thing that we have going on. We're actually going to change our name to Dos Leprechauns Media because we have the edits that Wayne does. We have the articles that Patrick McCormick, Matt, and Pruitt do. Let's try this again. Bloomington, Illinois, this is Dos Leprechauns. How are you?
What's up? It's Ben.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
We're doing great, man. You excited for tomorrow?
I'm totally excited for tomorrow. I'm hoping I can make a victory video for Dos Leprechauns.
Let's do it, baby. We got to make it happen. So what's up? What's your X factor for tomorrow? I know we've talked about it a little bit internally with the Dos Leprechauns. What's your X factor for tomorrow?
I think the X factor for tomorrow will be Jerry Tillery. That's really who I think needs to be and should be the X factor, because
we're going up against a freshman quarterback, and he's a phenomenal player, but this is the biggest game that he's ever been in. And I saw a statistic about Jerry Tillery. When he's in the game, even though he doesn't always get the sack and he doesn't always disrupt the quarterback, he's taking other guys away from blocking the rest of our defensive line. And they showed all the statistics with him, and when he played, we had I think it was a 70% better chance of getting an interception or a sack. So, X factor in my opinion.
I like that. To me, Jerry Tillery is one of those guys that, he's going to make a play, and like you said, it's going to be one of those deals where if he gets in the backfield, that's all he really needs to do, because you're going to have Julian Okwara flying off the edge, you're going to have Dalen Hayes flying off the edge. So if he can get in the backfield and cause some ruckus, they're going to have to really they're not going to be able to run the ball as much. You're not going to be able to give Lawrence as much time to throw. So I like that X factor. I was thinking more on the offensive side of the ball, but I like that X factor on defense. That's good stuff. What have you heard about this backup that's playing for Dexter Lawrence?
I haven't heard much of anything about the backup. That's,
okay.
I mean, but then again, I just got back into town. Last night? So I really haven't been able to focus a ton on the last couple days of things going on with the whole not substance abuse, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, steroids. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is.
So I don't know, and we'll see. I think Clemson's one of those teams though that they're so good recruiting wise last few years. It's just another man up for them, and he'll do, in my opinion, probably just as good as Lawrence.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I mean,
we'll
at the end of the day, our O-line's going to have to play probably their best game of the season, and I think they will. I think they rise to the occasion. They, again, I think we've talked about this internally. I don't think you're going to see a lot of just ground and pound run. I think you're going to see a lot of sweeps, jet sweeps, end arounds, bubble screens, things like that. Going to have to mix it up, and I think they will. So looking forward to it, man. So, hey, Ben, thanks for calling in. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yep, take it easy. Bye-bye.
Go Irish. So we're kind of looking over the Saturday now. We got a pretty good game going on in the Camping World Bowl with West Virginia and Syracuse. Last thing I want to say is I truly mean this, I believe we win tomorrow, and I believe it's going to be a close game. I don't know about the overtime thing that Mike called his shot for, but I think we win the football game. I just want to say, no matter what happens, this has been a successful season. 12-0 with the teams that we've played. Coach Kelly, that entire roster from Ian Book and Tevon Coney and the team leaders to the scout team, freshman, center. They've all done their job. They've all got this team to this point when, in reality, most people didn't have us winning 9 or 10 games. So I just want to say a big shout out to all the players, all the coaches for just a really tremendous, successful season. We're going to be back no matter what for a couple shows, hopefully to break down the victory and then talk about the national championship game against either Alabama or Oklahoma. But either way, we'll be back with a show to kind of break down the rest of the season. Continue to check out our Facebook page, Dose Leprechauns. Great stuff going on in there. We're going to have a live in-game thread that some of the guys will be running. But keep it positive, guys. The team feeds off either the positivity or the negativity. A lot of people think me and Nate, our team, are all sunshine and roses and rosy-colored glasses. Yeah, we may be, but guess what? This is what I like to do. I love Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame athletics. I love the college. So I'm not going to ever be negative about it because it's a release for me. It's fun, and that's the way it should be. If you take it so seriously that you're throwing TVs like Irish Marley, so thanks for watching our show, buddy, then you got some issues there, man, because this is supposed to be fun. These guys are student athletes. They go to school first, and that's one of the reasons I gravitated towards Notre Dame in the first place, is because they do it the right way. They make their kids go to class. The whole NCAA sanctions, that was because we were self-reported. I mean, say what you want, we do things the right way. Mm-hmm. So I just want to make sure everybody, hold your cool tomorrow. No matter what happens, there's going to be adversity at times. I don't want to see people flipping out, jumping off the fan train if things go a little haywire early and then we come back. There's going to be adversity. Clemson's a very good football team. Dabo Swinney's a very good coach. Lawrence, although he's 18, 19 years old, very good quarterback. They have a tremendous D-line, tremendous wide receiver core, and Travis Etienne, we haven't talked about him, the running back, is a phenom. He's a freak. So that's a good football team, but guess what? So are we. Our guys have worked hard. We're healthy. We're ready to go. Yep. You got anything else to close this off, Nate?
I mean, this team has worked so hard. They deserve to be in the national championship. Anybody that says we're not in, Ohio State should be in. Ohio State lost to Purdue, who got blown out today.
Yeah.
Another thing, they've also had turmoil this season with Dexter Williams, but they came back. Nothing phased them with that. 4-0 to start off the season.
Quarterback change.
12-0. Yep. And Dexter Williams had a great season, so yeah.
Yeah, such a great group of young student athletes. You hear every time we have somebody come on that's played for the Irish how well-spoken they are, how they give back to the community. They're always doing things for fans, giving back to the school. They're good people, and that's ultimately we want Nate to be there when he's that age. We want Nate to contribute, to give back. We want to be those kind of people and really pay it forward, so to speak, to use that cliche. But before we sign off here, I want to give a big shout out to our winner that we put in the randomizer for the Katie Kilbane handcrafted, hand-painted, I should say, schedule that we did as the share contest. The winner is Ronald Crandall. So Ronald, we will message you with details about how to claim that prize. And again, everybody, please invite your friends to the page, share this podcast, let everybody know how they can find us. Thanks to Brian Little, your favorite blockhead. You can also find us on iTunes. So subscribe to us on iTunes. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You had Ben Walters who called in, one of the members of our team. He does exclusive hype videos and pregame videos and things like that, so check that out. I also want to give a huge shout out, as the last thing, to Shane Scarlett, who is going to be going live for us on the Dose Leprechauns page, exclusively on Dose Leprechauns, to show you some footage from the festivities going on down in Arlington right now. So check out our page. Everybody have a great time tomorrow. We're gonna get the dub. We're bringing the dub back, and we're gonna see everybody in Santa Clara on January 7th. With that, everybody have a happy New Year. Great time tomorrow. Go Irish. Beat Clemson.
Dub.